Hello, and we are back. We are actually going to talk about our first full day in London. And it came after the flight and all of the trip to London, which felt like about 18 days rolled into one. So we were exhausted.
Mm.
Hence, we started this day a little bit late. One of us
I
slept
think
it.
today was our first day, right? Today
Today
was
was
our
our,
first day exploring London after 36 hours of traveling.
yes, we did make it to a pub the night before. We had a drink and that was it because they were closing down because it was too late. But today we got up, and so we did have what I would call an English breakfast. We had no egg, we didn't have toad in the hole or anything like that, but we did have some nice toast, some really good tea, and really good jam. So we were very happy for that. Started a little later than we wanted to, but headed off to the train station, and hilarity ensued.
No, hilarity hadn't started yet. It was okay. The hilarity came later. We got on the train. It was very impressive to be on the high-speed train systems of London. You sit there on the platform, and when the trains do not stop at the platform you're at, they're moving very, very fast past you. And it was really cool. So we did finally get on our train, sat down, nice comfy seats. We had a table in front of us, so we were able to open up our electronics and enjoy the 45-minute ride into the city, which is actually a very nice ride. So we got off of our high-speed train ride, then found the underground rail where we were then took another train to our final destination. After all of this work and everything that we put into getting here, we discussed it afterwards, but never actually discussed it in the moment. But we were walking up the stairs out of the subway and seeing downtown London. We both got emotional seeing
Yes. Uh,
we both got emotional seeing it for the first time, and actually everything that we did to get to this point and then actually it actually happening, we both became very emotional, and we were walking around. We were trying really hard not to look like, stupid tourists, but we were really in our stupid tourist moment where we were walking around going, oh my God, we're here. Oh my God, we made it. We are actually walking down the streets of London. And there will be pictures that are coming or maybe have already been posted of our day. It was fantastic. Um, so then we walked down the street. We took a couple of blocks and walked down to, where did we go?
Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar Square.
Mhm.
And what happened while we were on our walk?
Well, because it's modern times, I managed to have a status call that's normally a very early in the morning status call, and it happened to be for us in the middle of the afternoon because of time change. So I sat there on the blustery day that it was, walking around, where I was actually using Google Maps as our guide and sort of like directing us whilst I had my earbuds in and was talking on a call some of the time. There was a little bit of it that I got a little robotish on the because of the internet and such, but managed to do that. So hey, I knocked a little workout while we were walking to His Majesty's Theater, where we got to see Phantom of the Opera, which has been running there for many
84
years.
84 years, I think they
I
said.
think that since '84.
Oh, since
Yes.
84. I knew there was an 84
So
in there.
very exactly what you'd expect if you've ever seen it. It was high quality, and it's a really cool theater. It was an old theater in the theater district. They've got, I think they said 40 something things running at a time or something like that. So the West End shows and such was pretty darn cool.
And a little history that we learned this evening was that that is one of the only structures to have changed its name because it is now called His Majesty's Theater, where prior to this current king being seated or
Crowned.
crowned, it was called Her Majesty's Theater. And now, because it is a king, they have changed the name of the theater. Sorry.
So just a little like royal for you there, if you don't have any royal trivia. So we we left Phantom and immediately continued our touristy look because we sort of looked one direction, another direction. We really didn't have a plan after that. So we found a place that was outside of the crowd, but right in the middle of a nice little like wind, cold, freezing wind. And whilst I did what I could to block some wind, Natalie did a little searching and we found our next adventure, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. And we said, okay, now that we have this new adventure, we need to head that way. This is where we learned a little bit about the train system because one, Google Maps will adjust stuff on the fly based on like what's available and what's not. Two, there's an above ground and an underground. If you hear about the tube, that's underground. It's also the London Underground, if you've ever heard of it. There's also an above ground train system. And they all leave out of the same Charing Cross as where we were at. They were all leaving out of the same place. And we were jumped on one that was above ground. We should have jumped on one that was below ground. We found out after we jumped, actually we wanted to get on one and missed it. And then we were like, okay, let's make sure we're on the right one. And it's like, this is the one. And we're like, nope, this is not. And we realized on the train, it was like, oh, we're on the top. We should have gone downstairs and took a little extra ride. Luckily, it took us to basically the same place.
We really were a rom-com at this moment.
A very bad one, like a bad, like not even Hallmark level. So we did find it, though. We grabbed a little bite to eat because we only had time for a little bite to eat, and went around the corner and jumped on our double-decker bus.
Yes, we took a double-decker tour around downtown London, and this one was specifically geared towards the Christmas lights. So there are a lot of the streets, the narrow roads have large displays of Christmas lights spanning from one building to the next over all of these very picturesque streets downtown London. So we took a very nice double-decker tour bus around all of downtown London.
And it's phenomenal. It's all LED lights. They talk a lot about how they're very climate conscious and CO2 conscious and all this stuff, and all of their balancing everything out. But along the way, we actually got to experience another sort of rom-com kind of moment when on the bus, there were a group of girls. I don't know how many, like
The tour was 90 minutes long.
yes. Okay, I guess we'll cut them some slack. It was not a short trip. And so we're up on the top of the double-decker bus with Sean, S-E-A-N, because we're in Britain, was our tour guide. And probably about halfway, probably closer about an hour in, one of these girls, there's a little group of girls towards the back. And I say girls, they're young ladies, probably in their 20s, maybe even 30s. One of them's like, hey, I've got to get off. Can we stop or anything like that? And he's like, no, we cannot. I can let you off, but that's about it. Well, they let her off. Her friends didn't go with her. They had sent her off. So she went off to go use the bathroom, the loo, or the ladies, I guess, as they call it here.
The toilet.
Or the toilets. And then we carried on. The lucky point for the girl was, the young lady, is that our bus driver missed a turn and ended up, we had to do a loop when we normally would not have come back around there. Sure enough, it was probably a good 10 or 15 minutes after we dropped her off. The other girls were tracking her, and suddenly there was a roar in the back of the bus as people spotted this young lady. She got back on the bus and got quite the applause for making it all the way around. So it was one of those things. And even Sean was like,
again, rom-com.
Yes, Sean was like, I have never seen this happen. And it sounds like he's been doing this for quite a while. And so we wrapped up. We got to see all the cool stuff. We from a distance, and it was lit up. So we got to see Big Ben and the Eye of London, and all the lights are awesome. The shops were such that she's probably going to want to just shop for the next 3 or 4 days. And it's like Miracle Mile if you've been in Chicago, except for it's like 8 or 9 miles. It's just this hub and spoke things of shops and stuff. And there's a few restaurants in there too. So we may have to do a little visit. And then we headed home.
Yes.
We got on the correct train, making very sure that we got on the tube. And then we took the tube to the train and the train to the home and managed to make it back safe and sound. So that was our day.
Our first day exploring London.
And we have many more ahead of us. So stay tuned. We'll be back soon Hopefully it'll be a little. Hopefully it'll be something different from a rom com. Hopefully not a horror movie, but we'll
Yeah.
figure something out.
I
Maybe more like a
you know,
travelogue or like a It'll probably be a historical documentary next.
I'm sure,
There's a
yes.
lot of history
Because
here.
you all know us so well, and I want votes of if it's going to be historical documentation or a rom com.
All right. Have a good day.